Oh, there we go.
So we'd like to welcome everybody to an old but new venture uh, for 2015 Oklahoma State football season. As you guys are longtime fans of the site, are followers of one of your favorite posts in the week is picks from Joe's. King always has his own special take on the week's Big 12 matchups, and as you might see, I'm in a hotel room. Well, you're about to see King in a hotel room. We're both traveling a bit with our full-time jobs. So we thought this might be an easier way for us to continue the franchise, so to speak, get picks from Joe's out. Maybe add, I can play straight man. I'm pretty good at that. So, and give King a little easier opportunity to spout his special comments regarding the teams that we love to hate in the Big 12 and make fun of, all in good sport. So without further ado, we've got I'm in southern Oklahoma right now, and King is down somewhere. I think King is almost in Mexico. King, is that right?
We're close. I can. Sarah Palin can see Russia. I can see Mexico. So
There you go. Perfect. Well, without further ado, let's get right to the schedule. So let's. I don't know about you, but I'm all for. I like to hear bad news first, and then get past that and let the good news make me feel better. So I want to look at the shitty games first,
oh
and
yeah.
I think it's hard to beat Kansas hosting South Dakota. What the hell? State? Is it state or just South? I think it's South Dakota State. Kansas State's playing South Dakota. So Kansas is hosting South Dakota State. King, you've got to be ready for that. That game's got to have you fired up.
First off, thing I like about what we're doing right now is I've been told that I wouldn't say what I say on there to people's faces. Bullshit. Say it right now. Didn't South Dakota State beat Iowa State like 2 years ago?
That might have been North Dakota State.
Okay, all right. So,
But it's a Dakota State, so it doesn't matter. Probably,
the thing about this game, and I'm trying to think of something funny to say. I didn't know who they were playing because it doesn't matter. Kansas State could play fucking Stillwater High. I'm picking against them until they play Iowa State. I'm picking Kansas ninth until they prove me otherwise.
Oh,
Yeah.
so King right there is blowing up Iowa State. Iowa State, if you hear that, you are in the doghouse till you prove otherwise.
What is the mascot for South Dakota State? Do we some sort of Indian?
Let's see. Can we find? We are modern people. Can we find that somewhere? South Dakota State. Bear with us, people. Where are we here? Oh, come on. There we are. Big 12, South Dakota. Oh, wait, it's some kind of a weird. The Jackrabbits.
Jayhawks and Jackrabbits. Let's go 28-27 Jackrabbits in a crushing defeat. That is
wow. 28-27 Jackrabbits. It might as well be the Jayhawks and the Jackalopes. They're both, they mean about that much. Let's 28-27. I'll tell you what, I think Kansas loses, and I'm calling Kansas losers till they fucking prove otherwise. All right? It's
basketball season.
Kansas sucks. I don't care who you hire. You could hire Urban Meyer, and you would suck for at least a season or two. So I'm with you. I think the Jackrabbits, Wallabies, Jackalopes, whatever they are. I don't know. I think maybe I'm going to go a little lower. I think 24-21. I'm saying South Dakota State takes Kansas out, and we're all. Yeah, are you sure if they lose that game? Are you sure you're not going to? And Iowa beats Iowa State. If Iowa State beats Northern Iowa, and Kansas loses to South Dakota State, are you sure you're not going to drop the Jayhawks down to number 10?
Can we do like 10A and 10B? Is that legal?
Well, like last year, we could like skip a couple numbers and go down to like 11 and 12. We could do that.
Well, see,
All right, so that's Jayhawks did not inspire, obviously did not inspire King tremendously there with that matchup. So we're going to go to what's our next disaster matchup here is who are we going to do next? The internet is sucking right now.
Let's see.
The internet is. Let's do Iowa State, Northern Iowa. That's kind of a matchup. I mean, I think Iowa State, did they lose to them recently?
Yes, they did at home. I think it was. Maybe it was at Northern Iowa. Iowa State, I will never forgive them for 2011. And the reason I'll never forgive them is they made a bowl game that year. They looked sort of decent. Ruined my entire football life. And then have proceeded to do nothing but suck and die since then. So if you're going to destroy what little bit of a heart I had left and beat us that day, at least use that momentum. But they have somehow gone backwards. They hate Gene Chizik. He won more games. God, I think his winning percentage was higher. So Northern Iowa, a team that actually has like pride in what they do. So we'll go Northern Iowa. I don't want to get too fired up yet. 27-9. I don't. Samby Richards.
Wow.
When you have one offensive player, have you seen their offensive line? It's like me rolling out there. Like they got the beer gut, but that's it.
But while we're talking about beer guts, there's the choice of the evening for me. It's my favorite, Dos Equis Amber. What are you cooking over there?
That's what Miller Lite looks like in South Texas.
Oh, there we go. All right, so a little Miller Lite, little Dos Equis. I'm definitely not the world's least interesting man, but I've got that going for me. All right, so Northern Iowa. I tell you what, I just can't, in my gut, honest to God, pick a team to lose in the opening frigging game in their new stadium. All right, you've got a shitty football program, and you managed to build more seats. I said this in the power poll the other day. You built more seats for more people to pay money to come watch crappy football. You had damn well better win your opening game in your new stadium. All right, it's unacceptable. Unacceptable. I say the Cyclones, they're going to eke it out maybe 28-24, close game. I think they pull it out. They'll be fired up in the new stadium. They better be fired up in the friggin' new stadium. You can't open a new stadium and lose. That just sucks ass. That would be bad.
My level of knowledge about Iowa State, no clue they had a new stadium. Zero. Maybe.
Well, so let's be clear. It's not a new stadium. They like closed in one end or added seats in one end zone or something like that. So it's the same Jack Trice Stadium, but they've added seats because more people want to come watch. There's obviously a lot of people in Iowa that don't have anything better to do than go watch crappy football on a Saturday night. So, all right, so that's two uninspiring, very uninspiring games. We gotta get to something that's way better than that.
It's gonna be a bad week for inspiring games.
Yeah. Oh, this is always a sucky week for inspiring games. It's just so. Let's go to. Here's one. Now we'll save them because that'll get you fired up. Let's do West Virginia hosting Georgia Southern. Dana Holgorsen consuming lots of Red Bull and breaking headsets. They look like that's got to be a pretty easy opener for them.
Yeah. Every time it's hard to think anything associated with Dana Holgorsen and not think about a story I once heard about his love of snacks. I hear some rumors stirring that his love of snacks has him in some hot water. I don't know if we're allowed to discuss rumors, but I will. Let's see. Georgia Southern. Hmm. Were they
They
the
have a
school?
football team.
They do. Were they the school that had that kid get murdered on the band bus? No, that was Florida. Something that was like Florida International.
Yeah.
Um, Guessing the couch burners are going to win here, 42-7, something like that. I don't expect West Virginia to be very good, but this should roll pretty easy in that one.
Yeah, I think Dana's going to lay the wood. I think he's going to run up the score if he can. I'll go West Virginia. 55 to like 10.
If Dana's good at anything, it's laying the wood.
There we go. See, I told you I'm a good straight man. I'll throw you a couple of softballs there. All right, so we got Kansas losing. We agreed on that. You've got Iowa State losing. I've got them winning in their upgraded stadium. We both got West Virginia winning. And let's see. Let's jump over to STD versus Sam Houston State.
This game could absolutely ruin the Tech season because I think they're going to be terrible. It's like they hated Tuberville so much, and they've got like every time they hire a coach outside of Leach, they have like one good season, and they get all this hope built up, and it goes straight down the shitter. Now, a week ago, I was in Lubbock. If I lived and played in Lubbock, I'd probably be finding any whore I could find too. That's about all you can do. Did you say they were at Sam Houston State?
No, they're hosting. Sam Houston State is starting the season. I think they ended the season in the top 5 in the FCS last year, and they're starting the season ranked number 3 in the FCS.
I hate these games for I hate them for OSU because those little FCS schools. This is like when we played Florida State last year. That's how pumped they are right now. This is a real school they're going to play. But it's Tech, so they're going to score some points. I don't know. Assuming that all their players get their penicillin shots, we'll go Tech 35, Sam Houston 24. It'll be close for a while, but I think Tech will pull it out.
You stole my score. I'm just not confident with Tech here. They almost fell on their face last year against Central Arkansas, and this is a better football team.
Yeah,
a lot better football team they're playing. So I think Tech wins, but I'm going to go again with a close score, like 35-28. So pretty close to what you had. Once again, very much lack of inspiration here. So here you go. I'm going to give you your choice now, King. We've got.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm not giving you a choice. I can see where we're going here. We're going to go with TCU on the road at Minnesota.
Yeah, TCU is probably one of like 2 schools in the Big 12 that hasn't made me just hate them yet. I actually haven't had that much interaction with their fans, but I think Minnesota has the same chance of winning this game as I would if I rounded up some of the roughnecks I work with every day. This is going to be rough because Patterson learned a lesson last year about style points. So anybody who thought he was running it up last year, I suspect it could be horrible this year. And he doesn't have – his defense has gotten worse. Like, I keep picking them first, and that's just pure Baylor hate. I'll pick them first if they went undefeated and everybody else lost every game somehow. But in probably the first time in history, I'm going Frogs over Gophers, and I'm going big. 67-10.
Wow. That we're having that is no respect for the Gophers at all. Big Ten, Gophers suck ass apparently, but I'm gonna go. I think it's gonna be a closer game. They won last year at home, 30-3, 37 or 30-3, and didn't really. They scored a couple times late, low scoring game. I think they're going to have a little trouble. I think they lost some defensive players, so I'm going to go with a lower scoring game. I think Tech or TCU pulls it out they'll win like 31-17 maybe or something like that. But I agree with you. I have a hard time with them because they're a school. I like Patterson. He seems like a good guy, and I have a hard time like getting wound up to say anything about him. You know, so like you said, it's like I haven't found a way to, like, as you said, hate him. I haven't found a way to hate him yet. So all right, so we both agree TCU winning. What do we got left here? We got I have to tell you, I'm looking at this stuff, and normally I would pick OU against Akron last before the OSU game, but I'm going to throw them out here because I think Texas, Notre Dame, and Baylor SMU are going to inspire a little more activity. So we're going to toss the Gooners out here for you, hosting Akron. And how about that $55 price tag for pay-per-view, son? Don't you want to go get some of that?
That is the second worst value since I paid for that damn Floyd Mayweather fight a couple months ago. This is before I get into just pure hatred. Akron only won like 5 games last year, but this is a weird, like a bad spot for OU, I think, because I like having your big non-conference opponent first. You got a whole summer to get fired up for it. But now I guarantee you they're not – the coaches will say the right stuff. Players think about Tennessee because they got to go to Knoxville, 100,000 people. Tennessee fans think they're going to be good again this year. They're wrong, but they think it. And then the Zips, they only won 5 games, and they don't have Tyreek Hill. That now, what would have been – God, I'd have loved if Tyreek Hill was on that team. Stoops would have had a sniper up in the stands just waiting. He wouldn't have fucking punted all game. He'd have just taken another knee. Just have it here.
I had to say that's like, and just keep in mind, people, now, this is, if you're tuning in here for political correctness, you need to turn this off right now. Okay? Nothing disappoints me more than the fact that Tyreek Hill wasn't suiting up for Akron. If he had returned a punt for a touchdown against the Sooners, Twitter would have exploded.
Well, Bob Stoops, he's going to get – I guarantee you at some point in the next 2 years, he's going to not repunt when he should, and then they'll lose a game, and then they'll hate him for that.
Yeah, exactly. Then it won't matter. Right, let's just see. Akron last year was – what the heck were they last year? It's not telling me. Come on. Last season, Akron. Internet's being slow, folks. Bear with it.
They lost to Penn State. I think I lost it. Robert, you there? I don't know who lost Robert. There he comes.
Are we still here? Are we back? There we go. We're back. I was just saying that OU ought to win. I mean, Akron was 5-7 last year. OU ought to win this game pretty easily. I think it's going to be pretty interesting with Lincoln Riley, who's an air raid guy, who's got a backfield full of running backs and nothing but unproven quarterbacks. So and never mind, we are going to probably get, although it'll be on pay-per-view, so we won't get to see it, the debut of the one and only Joe Mixon. So
I think they can probably just feed Pirine all day. I'll tell you why I hate Samaje Pirine. Right? He doesn't seem to be an asshole. He doesn't punch women. He ain't getting drunk. I haven't seen him quote rap stars. Like, he seems to be a decent kid. So why in the hell are you in, like, Satan's pit? I mean, you went to the wrong school, damn it. But, no, that kid's really good. I mean, I guarantee what they're going to do to him, though, this year, and was he a true freshman last year? I believe he was.
Yeah, he's true freshman.
Knowing Bob Stoops, he will ensure Samaje Perine has about a 2-year NFL career because he'll give the ball to him about 45 times a game for the next 2 years.
I think it's go ahead.
He had to tweaked his knee a little bit in the preseason. That would scare me if I were them.
Yeah, I just think it's fascinating that your offensive coordinator is this air raid dude, and if you look at their skill positions, their talent is all in the backfield. Love or hate Joe Mixon, the guy supposedly has talent. Pirine's got. I mean, we saw him last year. I mean, dude is a freight train. So, I'm like, they cleaned house and then they hired a dude that. I mean, at least at Oklahoma State, when who left? Who did they replace? Oh, Gundy gave up the offensive coordinator thing. That's what it was.
Yeah,
as the head coach. And at least they knew they had a guy like Whedon who could throw it all over the place. They hired an offensive coordinator that fit that. All right, you've got guys designed to run it down people's throats. And you hire a guy who designs offenses to throw it all over the place. So I just think it's going to be fascinating, and OU is bordering on being a quality dumpster fire, very much like the next game we need to discuss. Texas and Notre Dame. What's that?
Sure, that's good.
Who gives a rat's ass what OU scores?
We won't see it. It'll be on pay-per-view.
Yeah, it'll be on pay-per-view. Nobody's going to see it. Thank God we won't have to watch it. So, although if they do win big, we're going to have to listen to Sooner fans for like the next at least week until they go play Tennessee, and then they look like a bunch of mutts over at Tennessee. But anyway, Texas at Notre Dame. Does Texas score?
How does a school like Texas with like $130 million in athletic department revenue a year get so bad? This is why I think Baylor's cheating. Somebody's paying them players to not go to Texas. It used to be Texas paying those players, but they've stopped apparently. Can you imagine this game? Like 25 years ago, this would be one of them game of the century games. They'd be selling kidneys to get to this.
Yeah.
And now it's like a tune-up for Notre Dame.
Oh no, I said on a podcast, another podcast earlier, but they asked about this game. My prediction. I don't have a prediction. I have a request. Texas, please don't embarrass the Big 12 on national TV. Not at Notre Dame. Please don't do it at Notre Dame, because number one, you're going to suck on national TV, and that's not going to look good for the Big 12. And number two, then Notre Dame's going to look overrated. They're going to be overrated because everybody's going to jump on the Notre Dame bandwagon. They're back. The great Irish are back. So, oh God, I mean,
is Texas starting that kid?
At quarterback?
Yeah, the same one from last year.
Yeah, the same one from last year. Yeah.
I'm guessing. As much as I hate to say it, because the only thing worse than like Texas and OU fans are Notre Dame fans.
Yeah.
Arrogant. Well, Baylor's getting pretty bad too. I don't know. Notre Dame maybe will go. I think the Texas defense won't be terrible. But I mean, what did they beat us by, like 26 or something last year?
I think it was like 28-7.
Yeah,
but we had no offense. That was basically the Texas offense, Texas defense, and the OSU defense.
yeah.
Those are the people that were in the game last year.
Like 37 possessions, and you mustered 28 points.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. We should thank Texas. We should thank Texas. We should be grateful to Texas. All right? Because if they don't turn Dax Garman into a punching bag back there, sack him 8 times, and unfortunately he gets concussion, whatever, which you don't want to have happen. But if that doesn't happen, we wouldn't have Mason Rudolph, out of the gate getting us so excited right now. It'd be a complete mystery. So thanks to Texas, we've all consumed the Kool-Aid and we're like over the rainbow. But I'm with you. I'm still just absolutely befuddled. How in the world can at a place like Texas, where you have kids growing up still dreaming of playing for the Longhorns? I know it's not like it used to be, but how can you not recruit talent at quarterback? That just blows. And I'll tell you what, Charlie Strong is, and I think Charlie Strong's a good coach. He's just got his handful down there, because you said the word arrogant. The fan base, a lot of the donating fan base is very arrogant, and he's not in some circles. I'll bet he's not getting the support he ought to get. And that guy, God bless him, man. I wouldn't have taken that job with a 50-foot pole.
For the money they're paying him, I would.
Well, you'd take the job and then you just run the program into the ground and say thank you, and you'd leave.
We would be, by a wide margin, the most entertaining football team you've ever seen.
Imagine that, people. Imagine that. King is the head coach at Texas.
We would never not blitz, and we'd never not go deep. It'd be like Madden out there.
Oh, and his weekly actually, the ratings on the Longhorn Network might go up, because your weekly coaching show, I'll bet, would be fairly entertaining.
Yeah, about halfway through the season when we're over and I'm just trashed before I get on there.
All right, so what do you think? So what do you think? Notre Dame gonna win?
Yeah, let's go. I'm gonna say moderately low scoring. I'll go Notre Dame 27, Texas 5. They'll get a safety.
5. Wow. Okay, so we got the strange score. I'm staying fairly low scoring. I think Texas is actually going to have a decent defense. They had a decent defense last year, but just their offense got nothing. I mean, they're not showing. I mean, they're going to have this again. Their team's going to have to prove that they can actually move and score. So at Notre Dame, I'd be willing to say like 28-3. I'll say 28-3. I think Texas is going to struggle offensively. All right, so that took care of that. And now, before we talk about Oklahoma State, what probably most Baylor folks think is probably the game of the week. All right, Baylor is hosting the juggernaut that is the SMU Mustangs. So and they're circling the wagons. Baylor's hiring lawyers, getting ready to try to cover their asses for the mess they had down there. And unfortunately, they're not going to play anybody for several weeks to try to divert the conversation. So Baylor hosting SMU. If you had your choice between turning this on to watch or watching reruns of 16 Candles, what would you do?
16 Candles is a good movie, man. What you talking about?
The chick flick. What are you talking about?
I'm actually, on this subject, I'm going to have to be kind of careful here. because in like 3-4 seasons, I've grown to hate Baylor with a passion I didn't think I had left in me. So I remember like 2000 was it 3 or 4? First time I met some Baylor fans. All right, I'm a freshman in school before I left school and then came back and left and came back. And I met these fans. And Baylor was terrible back then. We weren't particularly great either. It was either Les Miles, I think it was 04, but it may have been 03. But their fans were like, I grew up Baptist. I'm not so much anymore. But they would like, in one breath, they greet you and say hi, and then you'd hear them muttering about like, oh, he's got a beer in his hand, just walking around. What's going on? And I'm like, really? It's like this is the year 2000 here. If I got a glass of wine, are we cool now? Maybe my sacraments on. So they were always like, they had this holier than thou thing, and then in the past 8 years or so, they've turned themselves into Miami West, where we will go get the kids that got armed robbery charges on them, that beat their roommates, that whatever, but they're damn good football players. And we will let them dance on the sidelines and get personal fouls and rack up the penalties, and we don't care about the personal foul penalties. That Dixon kid is the dirtiest player I've ever witnessed with my own 2 eyes, and I saw Dusty Dvorak play. That cornerback was the cheap shottingest bastard I've ever encountered. And I got a lot of things I'd like to say about current Baylor events, but I'd probably lose the privilege of talking to you folks after that, so we're going to let that go. They went from holier than thou to win at all costs, but no, we're still better than you. It's like, no, you succumb to winning. That's fine. I admit it. I want Oklahoma State to win. As long as we ain't beating up pregnant women, I don't care how we do it. But unfortunately for this game, SMU is about to get woodshedded. This is going to be like one of those like bondage porns where you, by the end, you feel bad for SMU or you feel bad for the girls. Like that's more than somebody should have to take. Because Bryles is upset right now, and he's got nobody to hurt but SMU. But beyond the score, I'm putting the over/under on personal fouls on Baylor at 7 and 1 ejection.
7, Jesus! I'm going. I'll tell you what. I'm going with you because nothing. I'll tell you what bothered me this year. And again, we're gonna take off the field events and let those sit over there because I agree with King. If we really allowed our passion to go with this, we'd probably kicked off the site. So I have a problem with Sean Oakman. You talked about Dixon. Dixon, filthy player. I mean, Gary Patterson famously met Bryles after one of the games and like was in his shorts about it because the guy just took cheap shots. Sean Oakman, to me, is not much different. I mean, we've got plenty of video out there of him being a bit of a dirty player. And as much as I can not like OU, that shot he gave Trevor Knight that knocked Trevor Knight out last year it's like, how do you not get a flag on that play? And that guy is getting picked over Emmanuel Ogbah, a guy who's already won the award for Defensive Lineman of the Year in the Big 12, who has a great reputation as a kid and as a player, and looks the part. The kid's huge. I mean, we've seen pictures. I mean, he's a monster. He's being projected as a potential top 5 NFL draft pick, and people are picking Sean Oakman as the defensive player of the year type candidate. I don't get that. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. Oakman hasn't accomplished shit. All right. So, yeah. Unfortunately, there's not much to root for. Go ahead, King.
Oakman, he is like the clinical, like this is what the doctors look for when they look for roids. He's an odd-shaped person, and he wears that
Right.
dumbass like Darth Vader mask thing he's got going on, and it makes me sad we don't have a Russell Okung or a Sam Mays or one of those guys on our offensive line this year to just whoop his ass up and down the field.
Oh, I'm going to tell you right now, I would pay good money for OSU when they play them to do a pull, run a pull the guard or tackle or something on some play, and let Victor Saleko at 350 pounds come across there and lay him out. Or even better, I would not mind Chris Carson running over him. That'd be good. Or Jeff Carr or Rennie Childs running around him.
See,
That wouldn't bother me.
I'm not worried about losing to Baylor. It's in Stillwater. We got that. That's fine. I'm worried about how many of our players are going to have to go down to do it. Because when they get behind, you remember RG3 years, they get behind, it's time to start chop blocking. It's go for the knees, aim for the head. That's how they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
RG3 suck right now. Oh, makes my heart happy.
So yeah, no love lost here, but yeah, there's not much to root for. I think SMU is going to get lit up. I'd say Baylor's going to put 70 on the board. I think I'd be shocked if they don't. And I think they run it pretty low key. Actually, they're just going to go out and try to run up the score, and that'll be the end of it. And they're not going to see anybody worthwhile till conference play anyway. So not much to see here other than we just don't like Baylor, and there's not enough going on yet for us to really get excited about it. Now, last but not least, the Cowboys. The mystery will be over. Mason Rudolph's actually going to start. We'll get to see his fourth game as the Cowboy QB, traveling to Michigan to play the Chippewas. And King, I'm not buying into this. Everybody's talking about, well, the Chippewa defense is actually good. They held people to 25 points a game last year. Who did they play? I mean, it's like a frigging lineup of Baylor non-conference schedule opponents.
That was a good one. Yeah, I don't care if they held us to 25 points. Look at our defense. Will you score, Chippewas? I don't think you will. Unfortunately, I have to watch this game from the airport in Austin, Texas.
Oh.
It sucks getting into San Antonio, man. I think you'll see the OSU offense run about 5 plays. They're going to try to see what they got at running back. I want Rennie Childs to finally take over like I've seen him do occasionally, but the dude is just struggling to do it game in and game out. He'll have that moment. Little Carson kid's looking good though. Just for me, it's hard to get to when you go from last year, our opening game, to this year. It's hard to get too thrilled because we've been spoiled lately. We had Mississippi State the year before that. We had a couple of series with Georgia earlier in the decade. I mean, we've had some good non-conference games. This year, our non-con schedule sucks.
Oh, yeah.
But the Chippewas,
it stinks.
They may have a decent defense. They're still going to lose, though. And I really don't even think it'll be close. They may, if we pull all of our starters in the early fourth, like I think we will, maybe they get it within – uh-oh, lose you again, Robert? Or am I gone? If anybody's watching this, Holiday Inn needs to work on their Wi-Fi, okay? This is absurd. I'm on a hotspot. I got Wi-Fi, and that sucks. That's that extra $5 a night you pay too, people. I'm telling you, you want a Hampton Inn. I've never been there, but maybe. Since I have no clue if I'm currently on the air and Robert's not. Oh, here he comes.
We got King back. He's back. So, as you were saying, if the Chippewas score a couple late, the starters go out and Chippewas score a couple late, what were you thinking?
They might get it within 21.
God, I'll tell you right now, if the final score, nobody's going to care how it happened. If the final score is like 40, 42 to 21, 45 to 24, something like that, I think OSU people are going to have a hard time with that, because the Chippewas, okay, were they a bowl team last year? Yes, they were a bowl team. All right. Who did they play in the bowl? Didn't they play like Western Kentucky in the bowl or something like that?
Don't you spit on the Hilltoppers now.
This is not basketball. But they were playing a game that was like basketball, and they did, and Central Michigan did some kind of screw deal. They scored like 40 points in the fourth quarter or something to come back, and then there was some crazy play at the end to win the game. They've got a senior at quarterback, this Cooper Rush kid, who okay, great. He's good, but he by himself he's not a runner. He's a thrower, and he by himself is not going to take over the game. OSU's supposed to have a good defense. We're supposed to have a pretty good offense, with skill players. And Central Michigan, as we went back to, so they held people to 25 points. It's like they played Lamar 25 times. Come on. It's not like they were playing. It's no different than saying Texas Tech with their non-conference schedule, or any team that plays a lousy non-conference schedule. Let's say Oklahoma State playing a lousy non-conference schedule, and let's say that we held every one of our non-conference teams' opponents to less than 10 points. And everybody's going to say, oh, look, where the defense is only giving up 7.6 points a game. Bullshit. You haven't played anybody. Come on. The fuck? Come on. The Chippewas they're not playing that level of competition. And for heaven's sakes, Western Kentucky put up 42 or something. They put up 40 plus on the scoreboard. Oklahoma State needs to run away with this game. And if they don't, the fans it's not that they're going to be unhappy, but they're all going to be kind of, are we really going to, I don't know about this, so you might not be that good. I don't really worry. All right. You know how we overreact to this shit anyway.
Well, overreacting is the fun part. This one, my concern, and this is going to sound kind of chicken shit, is to win. It's a Thursday night game on ESPN at Central Michigan. Welcome to their Super Bowl for the year. I fucking hate these games. I hate them. Remember Troy? Fuck Troy.
Yeah.
Fuck Alabama. Yeah. The whole damn state. All of them. I think we've kind of been there, done that a little bit more. Gundy, I'm sorry. If I remember Troy, I know he does. I'm sure Boone, had it tattooed on his ass after that game was over. But no, we'll say 55 to 17.
Yeah, I'd go with that. I mean, I'd like to see them at least get up close to 60. I think they ought to. I'm going to say 60. I'm going to say 62 to 7. I think I'd like to see the defense really shut them down. But they if they're going to be who we think they're going to be, they need to run off this game. I don't want to hear any crap about it's the first game of the year. I don't want to hear any crap about it's their Super Bowl. It is a Thursday night game on the road, but it's not a Thursday night game on the road in November or October.
Yeah.
It's the opening game of the year. Gundy usually has them fairly well prepared for that. So they need to win, and they need to blow them out and win pretty easy. So there you go, folks. Oh, go ahead, King. Add to it.
Just this is to everyone in the Big 12. When you're going to play these bullshit games, we need to start taking from the SEC. Save one of those sumbitches for November when you've got a schedule that's like TCU, Baylor, Oklahoma. God, I'd love to have me some Central Michigan in there somewhere.
Yeah, you dream about what kind of road game are we going to go on. No, you're not dreaming of this one. So, all right. Well, that was obviously our first run through with our video picks from Joe's. The game started improving. Maybe we'll have a little something to talk about. We got a little action to refer to from the previous week. So, King, you know, thanks for coming on from South Texas. Safe trip home. Hope you get to watch most of the game in the airport, at least tomorrow. I'm going to be catching the game somewhere in Southside Oklahoma City. Don't know where I'm going yet. So if I see anybody out there, say hi. I'll be tweeting and running our game thread over at Cowboys Ride for Free. So for King, thanks again for getting on, bud.
See you, man.
All right, that's Cowboys Ride for Free. Picks from Joe's. We'll see you guys next week.